Impact Wrestling is here. Now, last week, I was a bit let down because I felt that Impact could have given more to us. Now, when I look at this show, I got more. The question is going to be, what? Look, when you see in January, I thought the name of the pay-per-view was Asylum. That's the place they're going to in Tennessee. They're going to do Homecoming. So, I was wondering what they're going to build up going to the pay-per-view. I'll say this. They're already planning for it, and now they've also announced it. So, I'm actually happy. They've been announcing the pay-per-view already. And they're already beginning to get matches ready for it. Hopefully, they will be able to book them properly. Because I'm not going to lie here. I've said this from the very beginning of the year. Do not underestimate the ability of Impact Wrestling management to ruin their product by not taking care of themselves. And knowing that they've moved to now Thursday night at 10 instead of 8, even though it could still be a better opportunity for people to see them because a lot of times they can't because they're working, it is still something that we need to be worried and cautious about. We just got to be cautious and worry a little bit about it. Because until next year around March or April, I don't feel like we should just say they're perfectly fine. We need to be cautious. But I'm not going to say I haven't been happy with the product for the last near year. It has been very good. So let's talk about simply the Rascals. Xavier Woods. What is the guy's name? Connery? I believe it is Connery. I'm not exactly sure. But, and then there's somebody else I don't recognize. They're in my face. But knowing that bringing these three guys back, who are X-Division guys, who are now going to be some type of faction, is something to see. Thank goodness we got something more coming into Impact Wrestling. Unlike what you get in the WWE. Maybe I shouldn't think about the WWE because I tend to botch a lot more than normal. But you get my point. At least we're getting something different. They're giving, I've always said this. Guys who are in the undercard, you got to give them some type of gimmick or opportunity to at least try once to get over. Even if they're ordinary jobbers, give them something to see if it can be done. If they can do something, someone could shine from it. Look at Drew Galloway. He was given a lot, but then he was dropped. And now he's given more. This is just one of the kind of examples I'm talking about. I know Drew had huge amounts of potential, but it does not mean he was ready at the time. These guys, I don't know if they'll be ready, but at least they're given an opportunity. Now, let's go to LAX versus Falaba and KM. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I know not everyone is liking Falaba and KM. I know, there's some who do, some who don't. That's my perception of this. Honestly, I actually like them. They're comic relief, they're funny, and they both can wrestle. And to be honest, I wouldn't have minded them actually winning their non-title match. It would actually give them something extra. They want to prove to Scarlett, who I'll get to in a minute, that they're worth her effort. Now, the match itself was okay, it was good. In the end, of course, LAX wins. But here's where things get interesting when it comes to LAX. And I'm not going to lie. Because the OGs now supposedly in their promo segment in the back, the video segment in the back, they're done. They're finished. You're not going to see them anymore. That really upsets me. I'm not going to lie. I'm upset the OGs never got anywhere. It was only to get LAX over. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. You need to give these guys more leeway. When you see Santana and Ortiz talk, they can talk. What the fuck is going on with management and Conan? These guys got personality. They can talk. When you saw KM and Falaba with them, you saw it was Ortiz, who is funny as hell, saying, you better knock that fat boy over. You better knock him over. And that was funny about the wrench. It wasn't perfect, but it was a funny little joke. He's trying to say, there's something wrong with your knees. You need to straighten out your knees. I got this wrench here. I can screw something up for you. It was funny. It wasn't hilarious, but it was funny. But then you wonder, why isn't Conan allowing them to go up against... It's obvious Conan's protecting Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, because he favors them more than the LAX. It's obvious. You can see it. And he doesn't want Santana Ortiz to know it. Now, this could be a very good opportunity because, let's be honest, LAX has been together for quite a while. Ortiz, Santana, and Conan have been together almost 3 years now. So, if Conan transitions from those two over to the Lucha Brothers, I actually would be alright with it. Because at least it will be two guys I know can talk. Two guys who are charismatic without Conan. With Ortiz and Santana, we don't know shit. Even though they show it. So if this is leading to those guys breaking away from Conan and going on their own, I'm all for it. I still kind of wish Falaba and KM kind of won their match, because that would motivate something. Kind of cause a little more friction. But if it is still leading to Homecoming, where you're going to have LAX of Santana Ortiz versus the Lucha Brothers of Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, and you're going to see a Conan go from one to another, I could actually get on board with it, as long as Conan doesn't overwhelm both the Lucha Brothers. Because look what happened with Ortiz and Santana. Let's now move on to Scarlett Bordeaux. Now, you got this guy out in the parking lot trying to defend Scarlett. She says she recognizes him now. That's her new lackey, because the other guy is not there. Now you see the refs along with Johnny Bravo. No insult to you, Johnny. No insult. You are a cool guy. You're a good ref. But your name is cool because it's Johnny Bravo's name as well. The guy actually contacted me a while ago. Actually left a message. It was actually really cool to know that a ref said something. It doesn't matter what promotion. If a referee actually sends me a message saying, hey, thank you, in a sense, saying something, that's really cool. But him and two other refs basically saying is they're not feeling comfortable about the unsafe workplace due to the fact of what Eli Drake said. And I'll get to him in a minute. You see Scarlett walk up to them. You see Scarlett pretty much kissing up to them. And in the end, you're wondering, how many people is Scarlett going to get under the skin of to get what she wants? And I don't mean in a bad way either. She is trying to manipulate anybody to get what she wants. She wants power and she wants control. Honey, you can have as much power and control you want. You're going to win over everybody. Now, that kind of reminds me of Katarina. Katarina's last match with Jordan Grace. I was saying Jordy Grace. No, Jordy Grace instead of Joanne Grace. I think it's Jordy Grace. When it comes down to it, was an okay match. Now she goes and approached Jordy, saying that, I think you need a manager. You beat me, and if there was another day, I probably would beat you, but you got great potential. Let me work with you. We could be destructive. And she says, oh, you could have beat me? He said, yeah, but no. You could beat me. Yeah. So 2 weeks from now, let's try it again. I don't know where they're going to go with this. Jordy Grace doesn't need to job out Katarina more than once. She can move on, but that's, my guess is, they're waiting to do something until after Homecoming. They already got things booked already, and they don't want to push Jordy Grace right now until after January's Homecoming pay-per-view. That's what I'm thinking. And it would make some sense why they're doing that. After 2 weeks, she has another match. Maybe she'll move on to somebody else, another jobber. I hope not Katarina again. But you never know. They could still surprise us with something. The Debsy Hit Squad talking about going back to India and eating something good. And you'd hear them talking about stuff. And then you got Raju saying, oh, this was great eating food at home. But once we go back to America, we're going to have some cranberry sauce. We're going to have some turkey. We're going to have some stuffing. And then Gama just smacks his ass and said, what's wrong with you? America is nothing. And we're going to make them understand they're nothing because next week we're ruining Thanksgiving. Oh, no, please. Please, no. This is what usually the WWE does. And this is one of my critiques of the show. To hear that the Dempsey Hit Squad could be trying to mess up Thanksgiving. I don't really like that. It would be nice not to have one of these types of segments where someone's trying to destroy Thanksgiving and it's the good guys that save them. It would be nice not to go there. It's not necessary to make bad guys and good guys fight in Thanksgiving unless someone figures a way to turn the Dempsey Hit Squad to a face just for this night and just feed them something, and then they don't mind Thanksgiving in America too much. If it's the normal way, I don't care. But if they're about to fight and then someone gives them a turkey leg and Gama smells and says, this doesn't smell too bad. And they sit down and they eat. And then they make it like a real Thanksgiving, like with when it came to the Pilgrims versus the Native Americans, who I'm a part of myself, to actually sit down, break bread, and be peaceful. That I could get on board with. But if it's the other way, I don't care. Let's move on. Alyssa tried to get Moose to leave the building because Eddie's coming. Moose didn't give a damn. He said, I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to beat the crap out of him. And she said, you can't. Come on, please. He said, if you love your man, you better do something. So when it came down to it and Eddie did show up, Eddie gets taken by basically white coats in blue shirts that are like medical staff. Somebody grabs something similar to a needle, sticks it in his neck very sloppily, and Eddie's done. Now, supposedly they're trying to hype up if he got into another fight and then the police find out, he will go away for 20 years. That's one way to try and give the Eddie Edwards hardcore madness something. You never know it's good, you never know it's bad until you try it. Now we go to Eli and his moment as the last of the dying breed. I have to say, that's actually a good line. He is the last of the dying breed of professional wrestlers of the past. Could say Golden Age Wrestling. Where at that time of period, where I know a lot of people say, oh please, Golden Age Wrestling back in the 70s, 80s, bullshit. It's nothing compared to now, how all the flips and kicks are great. What used to happen, now I'm saying this to the younger folk. What used to happen in professional wrestling back in the 70s and 80s, they had some people who did the flips and kicks. But they also had people who didn't. They had people who knew how to talk. They had people who knew how to do gimmicks and make you laugh. They had people who knew how to beat you up and make you cry. They had a gamut of different types of things you did in wrestling. By you screaming about just having it so real and stiff, makes it, say it with me, boring. You need to have variety because that's how you win everyone over. And that's what a lot of wrestling promotions don't really understand all the time. They want to just cater just one fan instead of at least balancing it out to have some a little bit of everything. You don't have to make the high flying stuff mean nothing. You just got to accentuate it. Make it mean something. Now, Eli Drake's moment with Tommy Dreamer was good. I did enjoy it. Does that mean we're going to have a feud between Tommy and Eli Drake? Yes, it does. And sooner or later, Abyss will be involved. At least that's what I think. Matt Sydal versus Johnny. It was the second best match of the night. I would have made it the best match of the night, but the end of the show was very important. It was a good match. I'll say this, I did enjoy the match. It was very high flying. It was good. Like I've always said, I like a little bit of everything. And in the beginning of the match, you did get some grapple wrestling, which I'm not upset about. That's what I'd like to see. Some grapple wrestling, some ring psychology, and some high flying. Put them together, you got a real match. And at the end of it, I was satisfied with it. Then Killer Cross comes out and says, look, I'm in my hometown. And I'm not someone to just act like a bitch. I'm going to tell you the truth. You kick my ass. I'm big enough to admit it. I thought I was the real change, but maybe it's you. Let me give it to you like this. Give it to you like this, sorry. you're going to have people after you. Have someone by your side to give it a little more interest. Have someone by your side that you know will back you up. Have someone by your side that you can do real change. Puts his hand out, as you see my face. He said no. That means the feud's not over. Now mind you, I'm not having a problem with the feud between Johnny and Killer Kross. Killer Kross can talk. He has a good speaking voice and he knows what he's saying. The problem I have is that I want to see Eli in the main event because I know Eli can do something special. Now I'm hoping later he'll be there, but right now he's working with Tommy. Now I'm not disappointed in Killer Kross. I just see that people who should be in the main event is not. Who do you got in the main event other than Johnny Impact? Right now Killer Kross. Right now Moose. No one really else. At least until the end of this review, you'll know. Now, what did we get here? What else did we have? Talked about that. Okay. This new woman, Heather, I don't know how to feel about Heather Monroe. She really didn't look very good in the ring. Not because her ring work wasn't good. It was just how she presented herself. She really didn't seem like she was wearing very good clothes. Her character doesn't seem too bad when she was talking and Kiera Hogan interrupted. There's something missing with her. Maybe it's just how she presented herself by a ring attire. It just looked really bad. Now, her interview was okay. And when it came to Kiera pretty much trying to tell her, be careful, you can nail yourself if you're dealing with Sooyoung. Well, she got nailed. She got the mandible claw for her trouble. And it was Kiera who came out to try and save her. I kind of wish Kiera was a little careful because she didn't tie her shoes on her boots good enough. And one of her boots came loose. You would think they got to do double ties on their laces just to make sure something doesn't happen. They trip or something. Luckily she didn't trip, but in the end it did come loose. And basically, once she came to the ring and threw Sooyoung out, the dark side alley showed herself. And to be honest, didn't like it. The leather jacket really didn't work for me. She should have been dressed as an undead bridesmaid. That's the truth. Allie should have been dressed as an undead bridesmaid. Wearing the skirt, wearing the veil, wearing all that shit. That's what should have happened. She should have became an undead bridesmaid. Not just someone different. Just slightly under Sooyoung. I don't agree with that. She should have been like everyone else. And then you can progress her to be something what she's dressed now. With a woman wearing a badass not jean jacket, but leather jacket, looking like she'll rip your head off. That is what I think Allie should have been like. Looking like an undead bridemaid, then later transitioning to what she looks like now. I just felt like it was a lost opportunity there. It's exactly what I thought, but it's still, the way she was dressed presented something that didn't need to be presented now. Now, let's see here. Am I forgetting anything? If I'm forgetting anything, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. This is at 12-some at night. I am kind of tired. But now, you got Sami Callihan versus a Option C hand-in motherfucker in a Brian Cage. I know I didn't need to do that now, but I just got to get it out. This is interesting. Taking away from the match, and it was a damn good match. It's a damn good match. It's the best match tonight because of the outcome. Not just because of the ring work. I have to be honest. If you compare the ring work between Matt Sydal and Johnny Impact, I hate saying Johnny Impact, just Johnny, compared to this, their match was better. But because of Option C being cashed in, or will be cashed in at Homecoming, this makes it substantial. One, it is good to see an X Division match close the show. Usually it's in the middle of the show. Seeing at the end of the show means that the management and the writers understand you don't need the main title always to close the show. You can use the tag belts to close the show, or you can use the mid-card title, which is the X Division title, to close the show. That shows that you're willing to do more than just do what the WWE is doing. But then you had a good match, and then you throw a swerve. Honestly, it's kind of a swerve you would not expect them to actually do, because it's only done at Bound for Glory. Because Bound for Glory is when you usually do the option C, not at an Impact. That's what I remember when it came to Austin. He had to cash it in slightly after or around the time of Slammiversary. But now we're well beyond Slammiversary. We're well beyond Bound for Glory. We're almost at the end of the year, going into the next pay-per-view, and now he does option C. I didn't know that was still a thing, but seeing that it is still available and a Brian Cage is now going to do it gives much more greater opportunity, and greater opportunity for the X Division. Because now you got to wonder if Brian Cage is going to keep that title. Is Sami Callihan still going to mess with him? Is anyone else going to mess with him? That's the question. Now I'm wondering what's going to happen next week. The show was good. It was very good. A few critiques. But honestly, I enjoyed it. And now I'm wondering what's going to happen next week. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.